Hey there, friends, it's Mike Penninga. This last week, I had a super embarrassing moment from a leadership perspective. It's never happened before. I mean, I've been embarrassed before, but not this kind of moment. And after it happened, I had a choice. Do I try to just kind of like sweep it under the carpet and move on as if nothing had ever happened? Or do I face up to it and go after it with the individuals involved? I chose the latter, and it was the right choice, but let me tell you what happened. So I was at a meeting, and I was meeting a guy who I should have known who it was, but I didn't for some reason. I had this full conversation with him. I even talked about this guy in the third person that I was talking to. And either he was too kind or too gracious, but he didn't let on that I was not knowing who he was and totally should have. When he left, I asked somebody else, hey, could you remind me who that was? And they said it was so-and-so, the person who I was talking about in the third person about. And I just went pale. And I thought to myself, how embarrassing. I can't believe that I wasn't prepared. I didn't know who I was talking to. And the next day I met somebody else that he knew, and I decided to recount the story and just say like, hey, how do you think that guy handled that? And he laughed and he said he would love it. And that gave me the courage to like write him and be like, listen, I should have known and I am so sorry. And it was embarrassing, but yeah, I made this mistake and I talked about you in the third person in positive ways with you right there in front of me. And he was gracious and he was kind and he laughed, and I'm not even sure if he picked up all that had happened. But for me, it was a great example to be reminded of the fact that even when we screw up, and maybe especially when we screw up, we should just acknowledge it and just like not try to sweep it under the carpet, but go after it and say like, yeah, I didn't get that right. And I was like foolish and it was embarrassing, but I want to let you know like I'm human and people are good with you being human. And so in leadership, we are going to make mistakes. We are going to do things imperfectly. We are going to forget the person who we're talking to at that moment. But I just encourage you to acknowledge your humanity, to live authentically and open to the fact that we're not going to always get it right, because you're going to find people are really gracious. They give you a lot of space if you live that way. And in fact, their trust factor in you may actually go up when you live as being fully human. So that was my experience from last week. Maybe you have had a similar one. I'd love to hear that from you too. Bye for now.